Hey, what's up guys? So right now the ranked ladder has been filled with so many of the same few AD carries being played, which is a little different than what we've seen in the last 3 or 4 months. And there's been one AD carry that's been at the top of the pick rate and win rate since the start of this new season, and that's Varus. And I wanted to go over why he's doing so well and how you can use him to help you in your solo queue games. So if you've been playing ranked at all this season, or you've watched any of the top 80 carry streamers, you've seen a lot of Varus being played, and it's kind of out of nowhere too, because the only reason he was being played before was in professional play, but once Ardent Censor got buffed back at the end of last season, we saw a lot more late game carries take over, like Kog'Maw and Tristana, and we haven't seen much Varus. But over the last two patches 8.2 and 8.3, he's been the number 2 highest picked AD carry and the number 2 highest win rate AD carry. And in my opinion, there's one big reason why he's been so strong and so consistent over the last 2 patches, but there's a few factors that play into this. Now, the big reason why he's been so strong has been Ginsu's Rage Blade and how powerful that is as a one-item power spike. The amount of damage that you can output once you get your 6 stacks on your Rage Blade is really insane, especially compared to other AD carries right now who are building crit. They really don't start coming online and being effective until 2nd or 3rd item. So essentially you get to impact the map a lot sooner than the opposing AD carry. And that's something that's very, very big in solo queue, which is a very snowbally game. Another reason why this Ginsu's build path is very effective is it allows you to build a wit's end, which makes you more durable, especially with these assassins or these AP damage dealers. You get flat magic resistance, and then you also steal magic resistance from the enemies that you're attacking, which makes you much harder to kill in fights. Now, the second reason why I think Varus is so strong right now is because he has a very strong laning phase against the other meta AD carries. Most other meta AD carries, besides Ezreal, are going to be building crit because lethality just sucks and nobody wants to build lethality, which means that these AD carries are going to be scaling late game champions. So you can take advantage of this with your pretty decent laning phase to start to grow your lead early, which will help you get your Rage Blade quicker, which, like I said before, is a much better first item power spike than what your opponents are going to be building. It's very easy to use the harass from your E and your W passive to really knock some of these AD carries out of lane and force them to play passive and defensive. And once you can control the tempo of the lane, you're able to dictate trades and you're able to have much better wave management, which if you do correctly is going to put them in a very bad position to be able to farm. So the last reason why I think Varus is so strong right now is his ultimate and the versatility that it brings to your team fights. You can use it for straight up damage if you're 1v1ing somebody, or if you're going for a 2v2 in bot lane, or you can use it to look for picks in the mid game, or you can use it to engage fights, you can use it to help peel. There's a lot of things that you can use it for, and it's a very, very strong ultimate. I think that it's so strong that I've been running Ultimate Hat on my runes with Varus just because of having it up more often allows you to initiate more and allows you to be able to fight more without being scared of getting dove, which, as I'm sure you all know from playing solo queue, is something that happens very often, and sometimes you have to be able to take care of yourself without relying on your team. Now, that is the one downside to Varus, and why I don't think he's the number 1 AD carry right now is because he's very immobile and does take some mechanical skill to be able to play to his best potential. But if you do reach that full potential with Varus, it feels really, really good when you pop off. So as far as runes go, I like to take Fleet Footwork, pretty obvious here. That's the number 1 rune here in the precision tree for almost all AD carries. And then you're going to want to take Overheal, again, just like on most all AD carries right now. Now for the second secondary rune on the precision tree, I flip-flop between Alacrity and Bloodline. It depends on my matchup in lane. If I know I'm going into a losing matchup, or if they have a lot of poke on their team, I like to take Bloodline. Otherwise, I like to take Alacrity just for that extra damage boost. And then for the third rune here, Coup de Grace, just like normal on any other AD carry. So for the second tree of runes, I've moved away from Inspiration since they made the nerf to Stopwatch and put it on the same tier as the Magical Footwear. And I've moved over to Sorcery. And like I said earlier, I do really like running Ultimate Hat on Varus. It does allow you to have that accessibility to your ultimate much more often, which, like I said before, is a very, very strong part of his kit. And for the last rune, I like to get Celerity. I do like having the additional movement speed and the additional AD from bonus movement speed. I can see going Gathering Storm. I believe that's a viable option as well. I just think that with Varus, your main goal is to try and end the game at around 30 minutes or earlier, and you're really not going to get the most out of Gathering Storm because it kind of defeats what you're trying to do anyway because you want to end the game earlier. That's just my opinion, but I can see Gathering Storm being an option also. So for your in-game build, it does vary from game to game depending on the situation that you're in, but the first item you're always going to get is going to be Ginsu's, and you want to get that as soon as possible because that power spike is very, very strong. So for the second item, majority of the time you're going to want to get a Wit's End. If they don't have any AP, or if their AP damage is not doing very much or they're getting stomped on, you can go Runaan's as a second item just because you do get that additional damage from it and you don't need the magic resistance from Wit's End. But majority of the time, Wit's End is going to be the best second option. If you get Wit's End second, then Runaan's is going to be your third buy. Now if you get Runaan's second, I like to go Blade of the Ruined King as a third item because usually they're going to have some tanks on their team. It's not just going to be a full AD comp that they have. And having the Blade of the Ruined King does help you cut through those tanks without needing that armor penetration. Your last two items are going to be situational as well. Sometimes you want to get a Last Whisper if they do have some armor building tanks on their team. A lot of the times in solo queue they don't have that, so you can skip your Last Whisper, get your defensive item, and then look to finish out your build with the Blade of the Ruined King if you don't have it already, or something else that might fit your need, like a Bloodthirster maybe. Alright guys, that wraps up everything I have for this video. If you did make it this far, I really appreciate you sticking around. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. If you have any questions for me, or there's a specific video on the meta or a champion that you'd like me to go over, go ahead and leave a comment. But until next time guys, thank you very much for watching and good luck with your upcoming rank games.